Welcome back to Majestic Mayhem. I'm Death Dealer,
And I'm Pink Pickles.
and we're here to entertain you for a little while tonight. I told you we'd be back. I said we'd be back. We're back. Aren't you guys happy? I'm proud. Not normally that good with keeping track of things, so I'm proud. So, how was your week, Pink Pickles?
It was a pretty good week, but we did have a little incident at our house. So well, I hope because everybody should know, Home Alone and the Wet Bandits are that's what Marv wants to call them, and he's like, oh yeah, we're gonna clog everything up and we're gonna flood your house. Well, the Wet Bandits visited our house this week.
Hmm.
Harry went down in the basement to go get some video game stuff. He has all of his video game stuff stored in the back room of the basement.
Hmm.
So I'm on my way home. I'm like 10 minutes away from home. And he goes in the basement and he goes, oh my God, there's water pouring from the ceiling. And I thought he was messing with me. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, no, there's water from two different spots. It's coming from the pipe. It's pouring from the ceiling. So he goes and he turns the water off at the main, and the water doesn't stop. And I was like, what the heck? How is, like, you turn the water off? It should have stopped coming out of the pipes. What is going on? So he goes back in the back room and he's trying to, like, move some things so all of his belongings are not getting rained on here. So I come home, I come inside, I look at the basement, and I was like, holy crap, there's water, like standing water on the floor. Water is just pouring out of the ceiling, and I'm like, what is this? So I go upstairs. Our cute little lovable, adorable 6-month-old baby kittens knocked the roll of paper towels over into the sink and turned the sink on. So the water had been running for a couple hours and they clogged the sink and it overflowed the whole sink. And the water, he thought it was coming out of the, because it was the hole where the pipe is coming down, from the sink upstairs
Yeah.
down into the basement. So he thought it was coming out of the pipe. It wasn't coming out of the pipe. It was coming from the hole around the pipe from under the sink. Yes. So,
Oh.
yes, they flooded things. And so then he goes, a couple hours ago, he was in the middle of podcasting and the cats were at the door yelling. But they do that. They just yell because they want him to come play. That's all. So he just thought that they just wanted to play. And he's yelling back to the door, oh, go lay down, go play. And then he's like, oh, they probably came to warn me that the water was overflowing.
Probably, baby. Just that's too
Yes.
funny. That is.
Yes.
Um,
So they got a stern talking to. I know they didn't listen, but they're adorable. You can't stay mad, but oh my God. Yes. So the cats flooded our basement.
oh gosh. Imagine having to make that phone call to the insurance company. How exactly did that happen?
Yeah.
Was this a God foreseen event? No, no, that was a couple of kittens got
Yeah.
born. Well, I'm glad it
So
was nothing serious, though. That's good.
yes, and luckily he did lose a few things, but luckily he didn't lose much. Most of the stuff got when it was pouring down. The stuff that was right underneath it was like some old stuff, and like we had a box of junk. I don't really care that it got wet. Whatever, we're gonna throw it away. And luckily we had put a bunch of his stuff on shelves, so it wasn't sitting directly on the floor.
Hmm.
So, like I said, there were only a few things that got damaged, and the rest of it we were able, like, we moved it out of the way. But then, we had just cleaned out the garage. We went and dumped a couple bins, put the bins out because there was still, I didn't even know how much water could get trapped, like, between the floors. I don't really know what happened. So we put the bins out to collect the rest of the water, went to Home Depot, bought a wet vac, came back, we vacuumed up from the floor, and, oh, yeah. But we were trying to move everything to be like, what got wet, what didn't get wet, and luckily there was stuff in bags that Yeah, we just had to dry the bag off, but the inside didn't get damaged. So,
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's
yeah.
that's too much.
I
I
could have
mean,
when he told me that there was water pouring from the ceiling. I really thought that it was just a joke. I was like, he's just trying to like get me riled up because he knew I was close to home. And then I was like, oh no, wait, he's mad. Like he's really mad. Something happened. And then I started to get mad, and I'm like, oh my gosh, a pipe broke. Like, what are we gonna do? Like, this is gonna cost a fortune. And it was just cute little kittens.
they weren't even trying to be malicious. They were just having a great time. That's
I know. We can't. No matter what we try, we can't get him to stop jumping on the counter. We're trying to teach him not to jump up there. We have a cooktop, so we don't want him to jump on the cooktop, especially because sometimes some of the burners are hot. We don't want him to get burned. So one of my coworkers said, "Oh, you put tinfoil. They're not going to want to jump on the tinfoil."
that doesn't work.
No, because I came home one day and the cats are standing on the cooktop, like batting the tinfoil around, having fun with it.
Mhm.
They didn't care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. I had a friend who was having problems with her cat jumping on the counter, and she was concerned that the cat would burn its feet on the
Yeah.
stove, or she has a garbage disposal, and the switch is right next to the sink, and the cat is not smart. And I watched it's a fat cat. Let's be honest. She's got an overweight, obese cat. Like they say, like half of
The
America is
chonker.
obese. Let me tell you, anybody with an old cat is it's most likely fat. The cat
Yeah.
is overweight. And her cat is no exception to that rule. It is largely overweight. And
Yeah.
when it sits down, it kind of has love handles that kind of hang out over the side. So when it sits on the counter by the sink to drink out of the sink, its fat roll will turn on the garbage disposal.
Oh, I love it.
And she's afraid the cat's going to, accidentally dispose of itself, which
Yeah.
I could see it happening. The cat, like I said, the cat's not smart. It's old, but not because it was smart. Its life. It's
Because it
old
lives
because it was
inside.
an inside cat. Yeah.
Yes.
Um, she's had to cat proof her house before for this cat because it's just not a great cat. It's
Well, it is. You have to think like she'd have to get. I'm sure they make for children, for little toddlers. Like they probably have something that goes over switches. Like she needs to get one of those so the cat's fat rolls don't turn on the
yeah.
disposal.
Yeah, she tried the tinfoil thing, and the cat just made itself comfortable on the tinfoil and
Yeah.
didn't have a care in the world about the tinfoil. It just made itself comfortable.
Yeah, they were
Um,
just batting it around because I was like, what's that noise? What do I hear? And nope. And then I walk in and they both just look at me. And then I go, really? And then they'll jump off because I know they're not supposed to be there. But we make eye contact first.
well, yeah, they have
Yeah.
to know that there's a reason for them to get down from there.
Yeah.
There
Is
has
she
to
just,
be a
yeah, it's
reason.
going to be like, wait, is she going to say something or she's going to walk away and we can stay here?
Yeah, she's either gonna do something or she's not.
Yeah. I think how Frank was like, I love how the cats were like, help, for the love of God, help. But since all this is meow, he couldn't tell. And he couldn't. He really thought, because they come every day, they come meow at the door, and all they want to do is play with them. Because he'll go check on them, and that's all they want to do is play. So
See,
the one day that he didn't check,
See,
they
that's
leave
what
the
they
house.
get. They are essentially the children from the boy who
Yeah.
cried wolf. They are
Yeah.
the kittens who cried meow, and when they really
Exactly.
needed help, nobody cared because they were like, you
Yeah.
do this all the time. You meow all the
Hmm.
time. We're not listening to this.
So then this morning, at 4:30 in the morning, I'm woken up because the one cat is in the hallway yelling. So now I'm thinking, oh God, what did they do this time? She came to warn us because it's 4:30 and I go to sleep. The world could explode and I'll never hear it. Like I'm asleep and I'm asleep. I am out. But at 4:30, like this was loud enough to really wake me up. So now I get up expecting the worst, and no. We have two kittens, so they're little because they're little kittens, and then we have a fat cat, and the three of them were just in the living room, and they just wanted to follow me around. So as I'm walking around to check, they're all just following me, and they just wanted me to pet them. And I'm like, I woke up and got out of bed, just to give pets. Which, of course, I did pet them, but then I went back to bed. So they won yet again.
No, that's funny. See, my dog's sitting here laughing about this. He's like, they have
He's,
to get you have to get up for that. He
well,
lays
he's
on the bed right between me and Dreadpool, and he's just like, yeah, I'm here for a good time.
oh, see, I don't. The pets don't come in our room because, well, I guess it wouldn't matter to me because somehow every pet we have loves Perry.
Mm,
I'm just kind of there.
mm.
Oh, I get so annoyed. But he would never sleep again because they would probably all just pile on top of him and suffocate him in his sleep.
You know, my husband had a cat like that when we first got together. He had a Siamese cat, and cat was the biggest jerk to me. I mean, the cat loved it. For whatever reason, this thing decided that I was his new favorite person,
Hmm.
and he decided he was going to sleep on top of me, which wouldn't really be that big a deal because it's a Siamese cat. They don't weigh that much, but he was fat and he was large for his breed anyway,
Hmm.
to make it worse. But he didn't want to lay anywhere like normal. He didn't want to lay like on your chest or on your legs or no, 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 no. He wanted to lay on your face, on your head,
Oh,
like
yeah. The
right.
worst place possible. Yeah.
Yeah. And I would wake up and I'd be wearing a hat or I'd have a cat like across the, half of my face. And it's just like, I wish you would
Yeah.
find somewhere comfortable that is not my face
It's
to
comfortable
sleep.
for them, just not for you.
He never did it to anybody else. Never had that problem with anybody else.
Um,
He could care less what other people did. It was just, and he yelled at me to go to bed too. He then picked up this habit of
yeah.
he was going to tell me when to go to bed. Have you ever had a cat yell at you to go to bed? That is, I've had dogs do it, but I've never had a cat tell me to go to bed because they're always sleeping.
Well, the cats want me to stay up to play with them. They don't want me to go to bed. They want me to stay up all the time.
They're always sleeping though. I mean, they sleep like 70% of the time.
Well, see, so the kittens actually do like me, but I think it's just because I'm the one who is available. I don't think
Mm,
it's me. And they're smart because when we're in the room together, one cat goes to him and one cat goes to me. So they're smart. They divide up so they each get attention. But yeah,
mm.
they want to sleep on my lap and they want to lay in the blanket. Yeah.
Like my dog right now, he's passed out right by my feet. Happy as can be. He's waiting for. As soon as he knows that the show's over, oh, like last week, he freaked out. He as soon as I said the outro, he was jumping up trying to get into my lap. I'm impressed with how well behaved he is. I didn't teach him a lot of things. I didn't have the time and the patience when he was a puppy. He is literally a month and 2 weeks older than Tiny Giant.
Okay. Oh,
He,
so they grew up together.
I brought him home like 2 weeks, like a week or so before we had our daughter. And yeah, I didn't have a whole lot of patience to teach anything that wasn't useful. If it wasn't the bathroom, solid foods,
Yeah.
like recall, things like that, it was not important. So my dog can't do normal. He doesn't speak. If you tell him to lay down, he'll look at you like you're crazy. Like, what do you mean? You want me to do what?
Yeah.
He'll sit. He knows how to sit, and he knows when to calm and stay. That's the equivalent of his training.
Frank has a fat snowshoe Siamese that sleeps on top of them.
Oh, those ones are even bigger than regular Siamese too. At least the ones I've ever seen in person. Those are the white Siamese cats, right? That's why they call them snowshoe. I'm assuming if I'm thinking of the right cats.
I got all upset one day. I dropped something off at Frank's house. He left the door open, and I just went in and I put it on the table. And I said hi to the cat. And I got out to the car and I was like, oh my God, I called the cat the wrong name. So I had to tell him, I was like, tell your cat I'm sorry.
It's always funny how we think we're almost more concerned about offending animals than we are about
Yeah.
people. Like I genuinely could care less if I offend people. I think it's funny most of the time because I'm like, if I offend you,
Yeah.
boy, have I got a bridge to sell you,
Yeah.
sweetheart. Um, I'm tame compared to most people, but if I hurt a dog or a cat or something, and I mean, I'm probably gonna get canceled and slow down the road for this one. I'm not the biggest fan of cats. They're not I'm a dog person. I'm a very big dog person. Cats, not so much. They're very aloof. They're independent and they're kind of mean, which I know that's a lot like me, but still, samesies don't attract. Opposites attract. So, um, but I will always apologize to a cat or a dog if I think I've offended them
I
in
know
some
the cat
way.
has no clue what the cat's name is or what I even said. The cat just looked at me. The cat didn't care, but I was like, "Oh my God, that's not the right cat. I'm so sorry." I was not a cat person until I got cats, and now I'm totally a cat person without a doubt.
But
Oh, Frank said that he has white feet, so that's why he's a snowshoe. So he's wearing little snowshoes. That's adorable.
oh, that's cute.
Adorable.
That's
DJ's emotional support dog needs emotional support. So it's like a circle. The dog supports you, you support the dog.
I can understand that. I've met society as a whole. We need all the support we can get to deal with it. I'm just saying. And these poor dogs have to deal with our crazy. Like I torture I mean, I don't actually like torture my dog. I terrorize my dog on a regular basis. I hold him hostage and make him love me and cuddle me and tolerate my nonsense. I'm sure he needs emotional support animal
Yeah,
just to deal with my insanity. He's probably complaining to the stuffed animals the second I leave. Who are we kidding? He's probably sitting there like, man, this crazy woman.
see, maybe that's genius though, DJ. Is you get this is how you just collect dogs. Like if you want more dogs, just be like, I'm sorry, dog one needs emotional support dog, so we have to get dog two. Dog two needs support, so now we have to get dog three. You just rack up the dogs.
Oh, it's too funny.
I did. I used to always say, okay, Perry grew up with like every pet in the world. He had tons of pets as a kid.
Mm.
We had fish. And fish die and you flush them in the toilet. Like they don't really count as pets in my book. And we had little they were like an inch long, little tiny ones. So you get like 20 of the same fish. So they're all named Bob. They all have the same name because you can't tell them apart, right? Like they're not real pets.
Yeah.
So then when we got married, he really wanted pets. And I was like, I'm not a pet person. I don't want any pets. And now we have 4.
See,
And oh my God, I love them. I can't live without them. They annoy me. They flood my house, but they're so adorable. I can't stay mad.
that's too funny.
The only
See,
time I stay mad is, like I said, they like him more than me, and I want him to love me. Sometimes I do. I hold the cats. I'm like, why wouldn't you just love me?
been
This
there,
is probably
done
why they
that.
don't love me.
I can't say I don't. I absolutely sympathize with that. I've been there, been there.
Yeah.
I was the opposite. I grew up with a massive quantity of animals as a child, and so when I got older, moved out on my own, I didn't want any responsibility because I've had the responsibility of all. I mean, how at 21 I was taking care of horses. That is not something you
That's a
should do
lot.
when you're trying to become a functioning alcoholic at the same time. It doesn't bode well when you're trying to get your functioning alcoholic badge
Yeah.
when you're taking care of animals that are so wonderful but so needy. Oh my god, it's like they know that you have a hangover, so
Yeah.
that's the day they're going to choose to get sick. Like,
Of course.
she doesn't feel good today. You know what? Today's the day we're going to try and roll over and over and over again,
Yeah.
even though we know we're not supposed to. Ready, set, go. So yeah, no. And my husband every once in a while he wants to own land, quite a bit of property, and I'm like every time he brings it up, I'm like, I'm not owning animals. You can have all the land you want. It will not be functioning farm property as far as I'm concerned. I don't want it. You can't vacation easily. You can't leave town for even a day without having to plan for weeks. No, I don't want anything more than a dog.
See, if we had money, we'd probably rescue animals, but we need to have money so we could buy all the property and we could pay someone to come take care of them. Because I'm with the fun. I just want to snuggle with the animals. I want to snuggle with them. I want to pet. I want to give little belly rubs. But I don't want to necessarily have to be the one who has to clean up after them every day. So I need to be rich to pay someone to do it, and then I just have the glory of cuddles. So
That's not a bad idea.
I know it's genius.
I
So
mean, I want some
RWK,
llamas for that. I could get some llamas. That would probably be about the only animal I would honestly consider owning, only because llamas are hysterical.
don't they
I think
spit
they are
on
just
you?
so yes.
But I want to
That's
feel. I
why I
want to
think
feel
they're
their
so
fur
funny.
though. I want to feel their fur is what I want to do.
They're really
Or an
soft.
alpaca.
That I wouldn't mind owning an alpaca either, just because I like saying the name
Yeah.
alpaca. Yeah, it's fun to say. Like, and it's also interesting because not many people own alpacas.
No.
Like, just imagine if I meet you at a party and we're talking, and you're like, "So, what do you do?" And I'm like, "I'm a stay-at-home farmer." And you're like, "Oh, so what do you have?" And I'm like, "Llamas and
See.
yeah,
Oh, see.
like it's so cool. Alpacas, llamas, and alpacas."
Oh, see.
That's
I
all
no.
I
I
have.
see. I would just be like, oh, I'm a stay-at-home mom. Oh, and then they're gonna ask you like how many kids you have, and I'll just be like, oh, I have 10 llamas and 10 alpacas.
I can't even argue with that. That would be pretty funny. Or
Yeah.
either that, or I wouldn't mind owning cows again because owning cows is funny. I enjoyed owning cows. Were somewhat easy to take care of compared to the other animals we had on the property. Uh, Cows were funny though. They're so cute and they are so hysterical, especially when they come running and bouncing across the yard when they're all excited to see you and stuff. They like bounce like goats do, but they're so
Okay.
chunky and big.
They're
It's like
huge.
it's hysterical to watch these
They're
stocky
huge.
things come barreling across the yard, all like, and their heads swaying from side. It's hysterical, and like they're easy enough to take care of. Like you just give them hay and water and out meds and stuff. But like you don't have to like brush them every day and wash them
Hmm.
every few weeks. Like much easier. I wouldn't mind owning a cow or two just because they're adorable. And calling a cow's name out and watching it bounce across the
When I
it's a
was a
good
little kid and we would go to my cousin's farm, I used to be so afraid to go in the barn with all the cows because it was like dark and it would be quiet and then you'd walk in and then all the cows would moo at you and like I was just I only visited the farm once a year, so every year I went when you're a little kid, once a year is like a brand new experience every time and I was always so afraid of the cows.
that's
So
fun.
RWK said that his dad was a game warden, so they had everything from a baby gator to a raven, but he said his favorite was the raccoon in the house. So I'm wondering, like, did you have a raccoon that you brought home and domesticated? Or like was this a raccoon that got in your attic and you were just like, okay, you live here now, or I'm gonna give you treats?
I'm assuming since he said his dad was a game warden, it was probably a rescue
Yeah,
situation. It
I would
because
think,
they
but
do have randomly you will come across a random raccoon that needs rescuing. It's not often, but it does happen. And if you get them and if they have to be rescued when they're real young, it can be hard to reintroduce them back into nature because they get
yeah.
quickly attached, I believe. I mean, I could be wrong. I've only ever dealt with full sized raccoons,
Hmm.
and they were never thrilled to see us rescuing them. So,
Well, I imagine too it would be harder for a raccoon that's living in a house to then have to go out and find their own food and deal with other animals. I imagine just do you know how to raccoon anymore? Right? Because now you're so used to just being somebody's cute little baby sitting on the couch.
Yeah, I want to know about the baby alligator, the baby gator, though. How long did you keep that for? And did you keep it in a kiddie pool in the front yard? Was it on the porch? I'm curious. Was it in the bathtub, like in that one show, Atlanta? Like Gator guy kept it in the. Did you
Oh, see,
keep it in the
I was thinking that
tub?
they had like a kiddie pool in the backyard. So his mom bottle fed the raccoon. See, I'm
Oh,
gonna hear about people like having wild animals. I don't want them. I'll stay with my cats. I do have a pig, but I just call her Big Weird Cat. So I have a big weird cat, I have a fluffy cat, and I have two naked cats. I'm good with cats.
I have my small fluffy dog. I'm happy with him. He's not thrilled with me right now. He's got his back to me, but he's a great dog.
Aw.
I don't know. He's just sleeping. Don't.
Dude,
Aw, he sleeps all the time. He's lazy. He's getting fat. Okay, getting chunky for a small dog. He's getting chunky. It's
well,
okay.
so our fluffy cat, I don't know how she got so fat. Like she was always kind of tiny, and I don't know. One day, all of a sudden, I was just like, "What happened to you? Like you are now a chunker," and she's still adorable. But I don't know. Like we didn't feed her any more than we normally did. I don't know. I really don't know what happened, but she's still adorable. But she was mad at me a few weeks ago because we needed our couches in the living room, but like in horrible shape, so we got rid of them. We threw them out. We're gonna get some different. We're turning our living room into like a cat room basically. But she used to hide in the couch, so
Hmm.
I was the one who had to get her out of the couch. So then she was mad at me for like a week. She didn't want to talk to me. She wouldn't deal with me. She would run away from me. And I kept trying to be like, please, I'm sorry. Like, so now she's okay with me again. But now we want to well, I want to get a cat wheel for the cats to run around in because I think that the two kittens will love it. And hopefully
Oh, is that like a
they can get,
hamster wheel for cats?
yeah, like a giant wheel and they could just run on it.
They
But
do
they have
that? My cats
yeah.
were always lazy. I've always had lazy animals.
See,
I get the deformed and the handicapped animals of the world. My mom and I have a running joke about this. Like, how in the world did you end up with the only like dog that won't dog properly? Or like we have problems. We had birds that thought they were cats and things like we get the really dumb animals. There's no other way to put it. We get the dumb animals,
yeah.
lazy animals. I get things that don't like to animal properly. I had a horse that thought it was a dog. We, I never get the animals that act normal. Like my dog, when he got out and was roaming the streets, like most dogs, when they get out, they look for other dogs and things. No, you know where I found this little jerk with a
Where?
pack of cats. Cats. He's a dog. He
And he
doesn't
forgot
like
about the
cats,
cats.
but he was hanging out with like 30 cats. I've never even seen those cats in this neighborhood. Still haven't seen him since, but he was just strolling down the street with them.
He found them.
Not smart. I get the animals that are not smart. He doesn't play with dog toys. He doesn't know how to dog properly.
Well, our one cat, yeah, she's lazy. She just lays around, which is I'm sure how she got so fat. But the two kittens, I don't know if it's because they're kittens that they're so active or it's because of their breed, but they are just, yeah, they want to just run around. And they do sleep a lot, but they also want to run around a lot. So that's why I'm hoping if I get the wheel, that they can run on the wheel, burn some of the energy off, and then not use us as jungle gyms, not
You're
clog our
asking too
sink,
much.
you know.
You're asking way too much. You
It'll
can't.
probably just hype them up. They'll probably run on it, and then they're going to be like, "This is awesome! I have so much energy. Let me go jump on you."
Yeah. No, this is exactly what's
And
going
then and
on.
then they're gonna be like, "Wait, let me jump on you, and then let me jump on the counter. Let me jump on the cooktop. Let me jump everywhere that I'm not supposed to."
Or you could get lucky. And I have an old friend of mine. He's an old veteran, and I swear this man has a theme for telling the future. he'll tell me, oh, be grateful that they're not doing this. They're instead doing this. And whatever he says, be grateful they're not doing is whatever they do next. It doesn't matter if it's the animals, if it's a kid, it does not matter. He will say something and oh, it's great that you only had that little bit of a problem because, I had this one to deal with. And it's like, listen here, boomer. We don't need to know all your problems. We get that he literally has a metal plate in his head. Yeah. We get you got problems. You don't need to project it on the rest of the planet. Not everyone's going to have that kind of downfall. But then what do you know? The animal, the kid, whatever, the person just managed to just bring that level right down as quickly as possible. He's like, you know what? Why don't you set the bar here? And then this person goes, you know what? Let's just hit the floor. Go to the basement level with it. Great times. Great times.
See, why can't people like that ever predict it? But like for the positive, like give me the winning lotto numbers. Tell me that I need to go to this gas station to go buy something, or I need to go here because I'm going to be the thousandth I can't even say it, customer, and I'm going to win a prize. Like
I'm very particular when I talk to him about things. No. Very particular about when I discuss things. Because, I don't know how he manages to do it. He's forever always good with that one. Like, for instance, when my kid was a toddler, when Tiny Giant was a toddler, he said, she'd gotten into the baby powder and she'd just kind of like gotten it a little everywhere, but it was a small bottle, so it wasn't that bad. And I said, wasn't that terrible? It was a quick clean, thank God. And he goes, when my kids were little, they got into a whole big bottle of it and we were cleaning it. A few days later, I still have video and pictures of it because not only did my daughter enjoy it, my husband enjoyed it as well, because at that point it was everywhere, all over my house. I'm still finding baby powder when I dust. It's been years and I still find baby powder when I dust.
You're gonna find it to the end of time.
At that point, you can't really get mad about it anymore. You just kind of have to laugh about it and enjoy the fun. But I'm looking at my buddy going, you son of a bitch. If you hadn't said anything, this wouldn't have happened most likely because the kid never
there in the universe
powder before. Wasn't having a problem with her after that, but no, he had to say something. The next thing you know, I've got baby powder from the roof to the floor, everywhere. 10 years later, still finding baby powder. Every once in a while, when I take a picture frame down and replace it, it's like, oh, what's that smell? You smell that? Oh, that's baby powder.
Well, the good thing was baby powder, it wasn't like some sort of spice that like you didn't have to smell for eternity. At least it's a nicer smell.
Yeah, except now come to find out, it causes cancer. So we've been inhaling it for 10 plus years because God knows it's probably lining my air vents.
Exactly. Just slowly coming to your demise.
On the bright side, reproductive health is the least of my concerns at this point in time anymore. I mean, the way the world's going, I doubt the next generation is going to want to reproduce.
I know. Who knows?
Might have gone too far, everyone.
So Timmy said about what I was saying about the cats running around. He was saying, "Oh, it's the zoomies. All kittens get them." Okay, this is like the zoomies on crack, though. Like there's the zoomies, but then it just doesn't end. That's the problem. Like that's why I'm hoping that the wheel helps them get it out of their system. But then, so he also said, there's a show, I don't know if it's a show or documentary, he said it's called Lion Whisperer. He has a lot of lions and hyenas and black leopards as his pets, and he takes them for walks, and he goes in there in their cages and plays with them. Like, let me start over. For hyenas, don't they like eat bones and stuff? Like if the hyenas want to eat you, isn't there like no evidence that you ever existed?
They're
right?
scavenger animals. They don't really ingest bones. I could be wrong, but they will chew on them and break them down into smaller pieces. I don't know how much they digest them though.
Yeah, like I don't care if you had a hyena since a little baby. No way am I keeping a hyena
Pigs
as a
do the
pet
same
coming in the
thing.
cage. Like no way, no
Pigs do the
way.
same thing though. I mean, there's so many animals that are so highly dangerous. I wouldn't keep a hyena only because they're scavenger animals and they'll eat at any given opportunity, which means if you have a heart attack and drop dead in the pen, they're eating you for sure. But that's also the same problem you've got with pigs, which is why pig farmers don't work in the pig pens alone. You always take a partner when you work in
Mhm.
pig pens, and you have to take partners for certain jobs with animals because, yeah, if you die in their pen, they're absolutely going to eat you. I mean, most animals, believe it or not, even the ones you would consider your herbivores, will eat meat if given the opportunity. They've sworn giraffes. They've caught giraffes eating birds right out of the air, just
Wow,
snatching them right
it's
out of
actually
the air and eating
impressive.
them. They've caught deer eating carcasses of different animals in the woods and things. They've caught them on hunter cams and stuff. Even butterflies will drink blood from an animal and stuff if there's
Did
not a
you
bigger water source
did you
around.
did you just say butterflies?
Butterflies. Yep.
So now I gotta worry about them. So
Monarch
this is
butterflies.
why I don't go outside.
It's the
Everything's
circle of
gonna eat
life.
me.
Well, yeah. I mean, I listen. I'm pretty sure it was last weekend, or maybe it was the weekend before. But I'm pretty sure I gave everyone the speech of we are not the top of the food chain.
Nope.
We are tasty chicken to a lot of things. I'm okay with that because I'm not really going to go hang out in their habitats unarmed anyway. So, I mean, am I worried about a monarch butterfly drinking my blood? Not really,
No.
because if my blood's exposed, well, chances are it's not a problem for me anymore anyway.
Good point. You're already toast at that point.
I mean, not to mention, it's kind of a cool thing if you think about it. Not many people can say that they had their blood drank by monarch butterflies. Like, that's pretty badass. You gotta think about that. Like, it'd be kind of like saying, like,
I don't
my
know if
body was eaten by a deer, my liver was eaten by a deer.
I say I don't know if I would have say a butterfly that was badass because he's just a cute little butterfly.
Well, he's drinking you. It's a circle. Well, I mean, you're essentially doing the same thing when you bury yourself back in the ground. You're feeding worms.
True.
You feed the worms. But the only time you don't actually put yourself back into the ecosystem is if you get buried in a mausoleum. That's otherwise you're going right back into the ecosystem. You're fertilizing the ground. You're feeding worms. I mean, roly polies. What do roly? Yeah, I think you're feeding roly polies because I don't know what roly polies eat, but I would imagine it's soil stuff. I
Yeah,
don't
I'm
know
sure
right
they'd eat
now.
anything in the ground.
So
So
yeah.
so is the this is if I'm wrong, this is gonna sound really stupid.
Mm-hmm.
The lady from the birds, is her name Tippy Hendren or something like that?
Tippy
Is her
Hepburn. Yeah.
is her daughter Melanie Griffin? Melanie Griffin?
No, Tippy Hepburn's daughter is she's an actress too.
Yeah,
That's not Melanie Griffith.
because
Oh wait, I think I might be confusing my names. I think it might be, yeah. Hold on. I'm
because
gonna look.
the reason I asked that is I thought that they had Tippy. Her husband was somebody. I don't know if he was a producer. He was also a famous actor, producer, Hollywood type person.
Mm-hmm.
They were going to make some movie about lions, and they owned a whole bunch of lions, and they have lions living in their house, and that's why I thought that it was Melanie Griffith. I always get her name wrong. I thought it was her because like she grew up with all these lions just in their house, and they're
Yeah, I
like
think
going
so.
for walks with them, hugging them, and
It was the movie. It was for the movie Roar,
Yeah.
and it caused a lot of injuries to the family and stuff. Because like at
Hmm.
one point, it scratched the side of her face. The kid, yeah.
And didn't it cost like a ton of money and there were tons of injuries and I don't even know if they even made the movie.
Melanie Griffith is her daughter. Yeah, you're right. It is Melanie Griffith. Yeah.
I don't even
Yeah,
know if they made it. But
I don't know if they released it. I know they made it, but I don't know if they ever really released it like on a large scale. I don't think it was. If it was, it would have been released back in the 80s. But
that's
I
what I thought of though when he said
don't
that that
remember
guy in
anything
YouTube
about it.
has these wild animals that he has as pets because I don't know at a certain point I don't know. I mean, look at Siegfried and Roy, right? They had their tigers for how long, and then the tiger turned on them. This is why I wish you could talk to animals. That you could just be like, "Listen, I'm just doing a card trick over here. Just help me out. You're the eye candy. I'm doing a card trick. Like, I mean no harm. You know, I wish I could tell my cats, please just don't go on the stove. Here's all these other places you can go. Don't go on the stove. Don't sleep on my face."
I talk to my dog like he's a
Yeah.
kid too. I treat him like he's a toddler at times, and I yell at him like, "Seriously, dude, like you're standing in my way. Why are you doing this?"
Just for fun.
He gets mad just like he's a person too and has a little attitude. Like they get attitudes too. I tell people all the time, man, the way you treat them is how they will react. My dog is spoiled, very
Yeah.
spoiled. He knows he's an only son.
Before I came down here to get the computer set up, I had two little kittens in my arm and I was walking around going, I have an armful of kittens and I was like showing them the house and I was like, don't you guys like it? And they're just looking at me going for the ride. Sometimes they try to get down, but they were okay with it today. So we were just walking around. I had more fun than they did, I'm sure.
Oh, that's too funny. That is too funny. Uh,
Oh, so Timmy said that he has been bit a few times, which I wouldn't keep coming back for more if it were me. He knows when to not be with them or approach them. Ah, never. Never in a million. You couldn't pay me. You could not pay me enough money to do that.
maybe, maybe, but I probably also would be the same person who would end up on the 9 o'clock news after my first day of working at a rehabilitation center or a rehab, something like that. Because I'd probably go and cuddle an animal I'm not supposed to cuddle. Like, yeah, no, it would just look like it's trying to get love and attention, and that would
You
be the end of me, and I would be okay with that life. That's a death I would be
you'd
all
be
right.
like, oh my gosh, look at that big cute cuddly bear and his giant toe beans. I have to go give him a hug, and then he would just swipe you, and you'd
I
be
would
done.
absolutely cuddle a big brown bear. Not even gonna lie. If a brown bear sat on its little hind and like put its little paws out, I would absolutely dive in there to go give it cuddles. Oh my god! Yeah, but they're amazing, and they're so ridiculously strong. That thing wouldn't even have to work hard to kill me, and I'd
See,
be okay with that death.
I want to hang out with the hippos, but the hippos are some of the most dangerous animals there are. But they're adorable, and it's just unfair that cute things can kill you. Like
I
I
agree.
guess it's how they lure you in though, because you just think, oh my god, you're adorable, and you put your guard down, and then they just
I find it hysterical
come
that
at
they
you.
terrorize crocodiles. That is the
Yeah.
funniest thing I ever found out about hippos. That they will, baby hippos will teeth and chew on crocodiles and just like gnaw all over. And the crocodiles just sit there and allow it because there's nothing they can do.
So the
Because they know
crocodiles are
if
their
they try
teething
to,
toys.
they are living teething toys for hippos. And there's nothing they can do about it because they know if they try and mess with the kid, they're going to end up on a, a an
Yeah.
RIP shirt because they're not going to live for very long. Um, yeah, yeah, I think that's just so, and it's so cute to watch though too. You can pull up videos of it on like YouTube and stuff, and you watch, and mom will be standing right next to the baby, just eating away or whatever she's doing. Next thing you know, you look at the baby, and the baby's just gnawing all over a crocodile. The crocodile is just kind of sitting there like, man, this is bogus. Every once in a while, you see them kind of like turn their head and look like you about done yet, like this is so humiliating.
Yeah.
I am a predator and I am scary and you're using me as a teasing ring. Awesome.
See, RWK, he doesn't think hippos are cute. Go look up Fiona the hippo and tell me that she is not just adorable. She's cute. Full
They're
house
adorable.
hippos. How could you not love them? And there's I don't know what
Pygmy
country it
hippos are
is.
just really, really small hippos. They're even smaller hippos and they are so cute.
You gotta look up
Oh,
Moo. I think her name is Moo Dang. She's like a 4-month-old pygmy hippo, and I forget what country she is. She's somewhere in Asia, right in a zoo right now,
mhm.
and she's like a sensation, and everybody loves her. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's Moo Dang. Look her up. She's cute.
They're
Pretty
almost
much.
like pygmy hippos are almost like a hot pink too. They're so cute. They're
I
so funny
know.
looking. It's like a hippo, but they like shrunk it down and fattened it up even more. They're so
I know. They're adorable,
so
and then
cute.
they come and kill you. So
Yeah, it's a death worth having. No, I mean it's a worthy death of a Viking as far as I'm concerned.
it is without a doubt. I'll get killed by a little baby pygmy hippo.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm gonna go on like a world tour of baby animals. I just want to go and see all the baby animals everywhere.
Yeah, I can't argue with that one. I do it too.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
I'm laughing.
Moodang translates to bouncy pork. What a perfect name they picked for her.
That is amazing.
Yeah, you gotta
I
look her up.
love that.
She's adorable. You gotta look her up. She's
Bouncy
cute.
Pork. That's just the best nickname ever. That's so cool. I'm gonna have to look it up. That's too funny. That is way too funny.
So Batman has a service dog, and he said that his dog understands when people talk to her. It's like she's a little person. I am amazed. I have only interacted with one service dog, like out in the wild. Somebody was trying to cross the street, and the guy was like, "Don't worry, she'll get me across the street." And I watched, and I couldn't believe that the dog was able to watch traffic, see when traffic stopped, and like get this guy across the street. I was like, you did better than grown adults do. There's adults who can't do this, and your dog is doing this for you. Like, it's crazy to me what they can train dogs to do. It really is.
Oh yeah, service dogs are quite impressive. I mean, there's some really hardworking dogs. I mean, you got to give them credit where credit's due. It takes a lot to train a service dog. There's a lot that goes into it, so it's understandable that they're expensive. It's just sad that they are as expensive as they are. The average service dog, a few years back, a friend of mine was trying to get one, and she said that the average service dog was like somewhere around, I think, 7 grand or 10 grand or
Wow.
something. Because
Wow.
that's if you get them already trained
Well,
and
yeah, I was gonna say
ready to
the
go
amount
out
of
the gate. Yeah,
training that goes into a dog.
yeah. I can't remember what she said the training classes, but if you get a dog and take it to service uh, to become a service dog to have it trained,
Mhm.
I believe that was something like 2,000 for just the classes. Um, it's
But
quite expensive,
imagine though,
but they're
beyond the
really good
classes
dogs.
though, that it's a lot of work, right? Like I'm sure it's a lot of work at home
Yeah,
that
yeah.
the average person doesn't have time to do. So it makes sense that you would need the people who train them to do all the training.
Hmm.
It's just crazy that they're capable of learning all of this. You know what I mean? That's what's amazing.
Yeah, it is nice. It is real nice. I feel for service animal handlers nowadays because it seems to be that therapy dogs are causing quite a concern and a problem for them because they're not trained at all the same way and they're
Yeah,
not expected to behave the same way. And it's causing problems with service dogs because people aren't wanting to let service dogs through or I mean, I myself have had to deal with somebody trying to bring therapy dogs through a haunted trail, and I've had to explain to them, well, I appreciate why you have the animal. That's not my business. The situation in which you are bringing the animal is inappropriate for a number of reasons. For starters, the animal doesn't understand that this is all for fun and games. The animal is going to try and actually protect you because it
yeah,
thinks that you're in trouble or that other people are in trouble. And it's not good. It can cause the dog anxiety or, it's just not a good look.
yeah,
Um, so I do feel for service dog owners now because they have to deal with a lot more than they used to.
yeah. And then too, once you get people now that so many people have therapy dogs, then most people think, oh, they're just faking it. They don't need this dog. They just want to bring their dog everywhere. And it's like, no, this is people have legitimate needs,
Mhm.
medical needs on why they need service dogs. But
Yeah.
so switching gears a little bit. So Timmy said that there's a Halloween event starting on Modern Warfare 3 this Tuesday, and you get to play as Michael Myers, and they have him as cosmetic skin.
Hmm. Nice. Cool. I haven't played Modern Warfare in so long. I would log on just to get slaughtered.
Well, you see, you don't have time to play video games though, because now you're dealing with all of the haunted trail that you're working at, and then you've been going. So
Yeah.
where you went to another haunted house this weekend? That's what I want to hear about.
Yes. This past Friday for Friday the 13th. Yay. I got to go to SeaWorld Orlando's Hollow Scream.
Nice.
They are in partnership with Busch Gardens Hollow Scream. Busch Gardens owns both SeaWorld and Busch Gardens now. It's all one big company. However, they don't have the exact same haunted houses or the same scare zones. They're both very different from each other. So that was very cool to see. They have different shows. So you're not having to deal with the same, four shows, the same two parks. So that's nice. Um, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. I thought it was done really well. I don't know if they put a large cap on how many tickets they sold, but while there were a lot of people running throughout the park, it didn't
Mhm.
seem like we had to deal with too much congestion as far as lines are concerned and things. We got through real quickly on things. It was real nice.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. I enjoyed it a lot. Unlike some parks, they didn't seem to be having problems, which is entertaining considering this isn't what they do. We won't mention who messed up, but they know what they did. Uh, it was a lot of fun though. And then during the rest of the week, I got bit up by bugs in the woods because nothing says getting things together like getting attacked by ticks, fire ants, and tigers. So get bug bites all over. It's good times. But I've got part of my trail set up, which is good because I've got like a week and a half to finish that.
I like how you didn't just get bit by one type of bug. It's like every type of bug that wants to attack you all came for you this week. They all like coordinated and said, "Here we go."
And I'm really surprised because normally I don't have that problem with getting eaten out there like that. In our area, we don't really have that problem too often. And when we do, we usually have someone come out and do a quick general spray for ticks or whatever the problem is. So to have three different bug varieties not only attack but devour. I mean, I've got bites, like my feet are just, it looks like I got chicken pox. I look like I have chicken pox. I am just covered in little itty bitty bites, and it's so bad because everything itches. And anyone who's ever had any kind of bug bites at all, once anything touches it, whether it's a piece of fabric, you sit down on the chair, the wind blows too hard, it starts itching. It
Yes.
doesn't stop itching. And in case you haven't had the experience of getting attacked by tigers, they are not your average bug. They are highly obnoxious. What they do is they bite you and they leave almost like little pimple looking bites on you because they raise up, and they look like little whiteheads on you, but they itch.
And they itch. Don't
For
they
like
itch
a
more
week.
than like a bug bite though? Like
They
it's like
itch so
super
bad.
itch.
It's
Yeah.
like having chicken pox. It really is. It's like having chicken pox, and even though you can't scratch it or you're going to create a scab, you don't care. You will scratch it until it scabs. And then the
Relief.
kicker, it still itches once it scabs. So then you itch it even more while it's scabbed. And it's just like this vicious cycle that never stops itching. It doesn't stop itching. You can't put little crosses in it to make it, like with regular mosquito bites. You put like a cross indent or something and it stops itching for a little bit. You do that to the tiger bites and it just hurts. It doesn't help, it just hurts. Then you start scratching and going to town, and that feels good for like 5 minutes. And then once you stop, it burns because now you scratched all that. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. So if you see me walking down the road this week, scratching some, mind your business. You're nasty, mind your business. I got an itch that needs to be scratched. Don't hate.
You're just gonna look like the local drug addict, right? Like I just think of like Dave Chappelle. I can forget the character's name. Yeah, the guy who's always scratching himself with the white lips. That's
Oh,
you.
I can't. Yeah. Oh, no. We tried to. I was filming a video earlier for Dreadpool for our recap on SeaWorld, and I had to stop recording and erase what we had because I'm sitting there and I'm talking and I'm not really paying attention, but I brought my leg up and I'm sitting there and all of a sudden I start itching it. And Dreadpool's like, that looks really bad. And I'm like, but I'm itching my foot. And he's like, but it looks really bad. Like all you can see is you kind of like going to town like this. And I'm like, but it itches so bad. I look like I have chicken pox on my feet because I am so bit up. I've never had so many bug bites in my life. And I've never scratched them until they bled. Like, I just don't do that. And right now, I genuinely don't care. I will
You
scratch them
need that
off
relief.
if it helps. I will scar up my feet if it helps. Oh my God. So, yeah, in case no one's had them, I don't recommend them. I don't know how to avoid them other than don't go into the woods. I looked it up. There is really no way to avoid them. Because it's like, oh, well, maybe it's in like the pile of dirt. Nope. Maybe it's from the tree fungus. Nope. Maybe it's from, standing water. No. Oh, well, where is it from? Dirt.
Oh, so they're just in the woods.
Yeah, how do you get rid of dirt? How do you spray something for dirt? Like, oh, this is just like as bad as sand fleas. You can't, there's nothing to do about them. You can't get rid of them.
You stay inside your house. That's what you do.
I got to terrorize the villagers next. I mean, I got like a week before I got to terrorize and traumatize the villagers and their children. I don't have time to stay in the house, unfortunately.
Well, hopefully you've already disturbed every bug nest there is in your area that from here on out, you'll be okay. You already unearthed them. They already came out of the ground. The nest got kicked over,
If
right?
I'm eating alive by this coming Friday, I'm canceling life for like the next few days, and I'm out. I'm just going to another plane because if I have to deal with more things itching, I'm gonna start the apocalypse. I'm getting the white horse out. I'm gonna start riding across towns and cities, and everybody's going down. Bringing it on.
So Milkman wants to know, with all the haunted houses you visited, will you and Dreadpool move into one?
I
Who's
already
to
have a
say?
haunted house.
This is gonna say, who's to say you don't already live there?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. When people go to Spirit Halloween store or they're going down the Halloween aisles in the stores, they're thinking of, oh, these are my fall decorations. I'm looking at it as, oh, this is my house motif.
Yes.
I've got collections of skulls sitting around. I have a alchemist Maximus bust. Who has that? I do. He's hanging out literally right in front of my sink. Just because I thought it was cool and a good spot for him. I've got a bust of Dracula on my dehumidifier.
So you bring the haunted into the house. You don't look for a haunted house. You're the one who wants it.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. Where I live, if the house is over 10 years old, chances are someone's died in it. So, like, everywhere is haunted down here. We're heaven and hell's waiting room.
So it's just because old people live there and
Old
they're
people
all
die all the time, like a lot. Like,
yeah.
give it a few days, and there's probably an estate sale like around the block somewhere. I mean, probably 6 months ago, my neighbor had an estate sale, and I had to fight with people to get them out of my driveway. Because, like, but that wasn't even the only estate sale at that point in time. There was another one like 4 houses down from that. That's why the parking was such a problem, because there was 2 estate sales going on at once. Why? Because they can't schedule their deaths like normal people. They must do it all up at the same time.
Yeah, don't
Why
they know?
Denise
Don't they know
have her
better?
moment?
Make it convenient for the neighbors.
Denise mustn't have her moment. Cheryl must die at the same time so they can compete for one last moment. I have no say in when they die. I'm just here to pick them up and drop them off to the appropriate holes somewhere. I have nothing to do with when you go. So I know someone's going to make that comment of,
Yeah.
well,
Just go get 'em.
don't you get to decide? I don't decide any of that. I don't even get to decide how you die. I wish I did at times, because I would absolutely make these things more entertaining for me. Because let's be honest, none of you remember it, so it doesn't matter if it was traumatic or not. I just pick you up and drop you off. That's it. That's all I get to do. I wish there was more. It would be much more entertaining. But
I'm probably gonna pronounce his name wrong, but Xeric said you make him think of the woman on YouTube, Vinwiki, that has a hearse as a daily driver.
I mean, I know a few people with hearses. Mom wants a hearse, so that absolutely makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Although the spooky aesthetic has been getting more and more popular lately, I've noticed more and more people are becoming more goth oriented, I would say. Spooky, it seems to be more of a cool thing to do. Let me paint my house black. I'm not going to go that far and paint my house black, only because I live in the Sunshine State, and that'd be really stupid.
Yeah, you just heat your house up all day, every day.
Yeah. But I would absolutely paint a room in my house black, as long as I had blackout curtains on the wall. But yeah, I mean, I've got a red wall. I painted a red accent wall in my kitchen because I just figured, why not have a whole. I'll be honest for a minute. I did it in case I ever decide to slaughter someone in my kitchen. I didn't want to have to clean the walls. You ever tried to scrub walls clean? It's such a horrible disaster. But if your wall's already red,
So
not a
you're just
problem.
planning ahead. Good thinking. But you have to make sure though that you're lined up the correct way so the blood splatter gets the red wall and not the non-red walls.
You can't get
Right?
too involved in planning because then words like premeditated get thrown around. So it's got to be somewhat spontaneous.
Yeah, it's gotta be in the heat of the moment.
But if anyone ever asks why I chose red for the wall, it's because I always have red paint on hand. I have that particular shade of red on hand all the time. I'm always painting blood on things, so I always have that shade. Makes sense.
And Milfan wants to know how many more haunted houses you're gonna visit before Halloween.
Mm, at least three. At least three. We've got Petrified Forest to go to. And then there's Sir Henry's. I like them. They do, that's the one I go to. They do Christmas and Valentine's Day as well. So I really like that one. Sir Henry's is fun. And then there's another one, but I can't remember what the name of it is now. There's a possibility of a fourth one, although I'm not entirely sure because of the dates on it. I have to run my own haunted house, so I may not be able to make it. But there's one that's running down the river now. They do it in the river. And I was like, I wonder how the
Interesting.
insurance works on that.
So
I
are
got
you like
questions,
are
but
you like on a boat? Like what do you mean it's in the river?
you're in a little kayak. But I have questions. I want to know if it's like a one-person kayak, because if that's the case, I don't think I want to do it because those you have to strap your legs in. And that could be dangerous for me.
So
Me
wait,
in general.
so you're kayaking down the river and there's like haunted stuff in the river.
Hmm. And
That's
actors and
that's a
stuff.
really cool concept.
Yeah, it sounds cool. But I got questions. Problem is, it's gator mating season, so I got questions. I'm not really too concerned about the animals themselves. I just have questions such as, how long is it? Like when we get to the end, do I have to carry a kayak? Because I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Do I have to lift it out of the water? I don't really want to do that either.
So I like how you're more concerned with do I have to lift a kayak out of the water than it's gator mating season.
Yeah, gators during mating season are a dead giveaway. They announce themselves, so they're not really a concern when it comes to, am I going to be eaten by it? No, I'm too much work and effort. The amount of energy they'd have to use to do a death roll on me, I'm not worth it. I'm just not worth it to them. So
I don't know because a couple weeks ago we talked about it and I mentioned the orcas that like learned to capsize the yachts and stuff. Like what if these gators are like, wow, all these people in kayaks are coming down the river here. If we all just get together, we could have a feast every weekend, right?
yeah.
I mean,
If they get to that point, chances are I'm probably not going to be the first one to find out about that particular scenario. That would be something where they'd go after like a lot of people at once, I'm
yeah.
assuming, or very few people all at once. But either way, I'm not fitting into that category because if I'm floating down the river for a haunted trail, there's people with me, there's people scaring in the water. This is
But
going to be
that's what I'm saying though. The gators are going to band together and get you all at once.
They'll probably go after the ones trying to make the golf courses before they come after people just swimming out. Honestly, like the way nature's been going, they're going for the people with the money and stuff.
That's a
And
good point.
I'm not the one who's doing the golf course. I'm not even going to use the golf course.
That's a good point. They're going to be like, have fun on your little Halloween thing. We'll be over here destroying the back nine.
Yeah, if you think about it, you didn't hear about the orcas capsizing like small boats
You're
or
right.
like little
Big capsized
dinghies.
yachts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I saw one video where the guy was on a small little dinghy right next to the yacht that got capsized, and they left him alone. And it was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's because he knew that you weren't the one with the money and the plan.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think I'll be all right. If the gators decide to start eating people, I think I'm in the clear. I'm not
Okay.
rich, so I'll be all right. I think. I feel like I'll be okay.
You're not cruising in the river on a tricked out kayak.
I don't own a Rolex, so I
Mm.
mean, we're good. We'll be all right. I think we'll be okay for now.
So Batman likes your shirt. He noticed it.
Ah, yes, love it. Yep, 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 yep. I had to have it. My yip yip glow in the dark too. How could you not love Sesame Street? It's like, oh, I love them.
I
I
love that
like
it
these
glows in the
guys.
dark.
These guys are like some of my favorite characters, though. I mean, best, best. Oh, it's great. No, I'm not on the watch list that I'm aware of. At least none that stopped me from doing a lot of things yet.
Well, there's no watch list to be on because there's no premeditation happening.
Touche.
So there's no watch list to be on. Someone who purely has red paint at their disposal and used it inside their house. That's
Yep,
all it is.
exactly. Yes, and I have been investigated by the cops before for my props. So I am on record that it's not real. uh, mm, the quickest I've ever been scared inside of a haunted house. I don't think it takes long sometimes. It just depends. Um, loud sounds startle me because I'm not always expecting them. So I'd probably say the quickest I've ever been scared in a haunted house, it was probably the first room I walked into. There's been a few instances where they've got me in the first room. Mm, just depends on what kind of scare you're looking for. Loud noises startle me and I jump. So if we're going for that scare, then yeah, I've been scared in the first room.
See, that's why I've been so disappointed. And we actually haven't been to a haunted house in a few years. And I've been trying to find a new one to go to this year. But I get disappointed because the one we go to, it's like nationally rated. But all they care about now is pumping the people through. So then you don't get scared because it's just a constant stream of people. It doesn't
Yeah.
give a chance for the actors to reset themselves, to come out. So it's just lame. And you spend the whole night waiting in line and then you don't ever get scared. So that's what I'm trying to find is I want to go to a haunted house because I want to be scared. I want to go to I mean, I don't want to be terrified.
Yeah.
But I want to scare, right? You want a good scare at a haunted house. That's why you go.
Oh no, I agree. Now there's a few that I've been bad about that I'm not going to because of that same reason.
Yeah.
There needs to be caps on how many tickets you sell per night. There needs to be a time in which you're letting people in and out and things. I mean, when me as a small, much smaller house on a much smaller scale, if I can space my people, my customers out enough to where everyone gets a scare and I have enough time for my actors to reset after a jump and things of that nature, my soundtrack has time to reset. There's no reason that a larger place can't do these things when they've got a ton of more money at their disposal, a bunch of more actors that they can just throw them wherever. There's no reason for your
Well,
lag.
because it's purely just overselling tickets. So like they have because it's a hayride, and then there's like 4 or 5 haunted houses that you go through. You'll buy tickets for the hayride, and let's say your hayride is at 9 o'clock. You might not ever get on the hayride until 11. So if they're running 2 hours behind schedule that early in the night, like how many extra tickets did they sell? There was no chance that they were ever going to be on time. It's not like you had a 9 o'clock ticket and you made it through at 9:15, 9:30. Like if you're 2 hours late, there was a 0% chance you were ever going to be on time.
Yeah.
Which means
No.
that they just sold tickets that they knew they couldn't. They just sold them to sell them.
Yeah.
Is
No.
really what it is.
No. We were discussing this earlier. There's a much, much larger theme park on a much, much larger scale that did so poorly on planning. They not only oversold, they overcrowded it so badly, they shut half of it down, didn't issue refunds, and pretty much told people, oh, well, sucks to be you guys. Maybe you'll plan better next time. How is my bad? What? How is your bad planning my fault? How is your not accounting for all of these things my fault? No, the problem is you were more interested in the money you're going to get from it. I mean, and let's be honest, with the way everything has gone up on the prices of things, it's just too expensive for me to go to a haunted house and have it be an absolute disaster nowadays. If I walk through a haunted house and they are rushing me through in 5 minutes and it costs me, $40, I'm going to be royally unhappy, real unhappy. And then they're wondering why all of these people are suddenly getting into fist fights and all of these things are happening and all of these people are getting assaulted. Well, gee, I wonder. You charged me, and I'm not saying violence is the answer in this particular case. I don't think it's ever fair to, start fighting another customer for something that nobody has control over. But
You understand though why people resort to that and why
I can
why tensions are
sympathize.
that high, and it's for a few years it's going to work and you are going to make all that money, but then it's going to go too far because eventually people are going to be like, this sucks. I just spent $100 on this and it was a waste of my time. I'm never going again. And that's what you're going to do is eventually you're going to you'll have a few years of those amazing profits, and then people are going to stop going and they're going to back off. And it's like, no, you could have had a great house. And I bet you, and maybe this though was probably just the availability of getting the actors to do this, because if you open on a Thursday night, you open during the week, there's people who would still go.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
bet you could get, rather than just doing this on Friday and Saturday nights, open more days during the week. A bunch of these people will spread out. They'll go during the week.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, and that's the thing. There are some that do offer weekdays now, and they do real well. They have no problem packing people in, because not everybody wants to crowd in on Friday and Saturdays. I myself, because I run a haunted house my own during the month of October, if a haunted house offers Thursday or Sundays, I'll go to it because Thursday and Sunday I can go.
Yep.
Friday and Saturday, I'm busy running my own thing. And when you're the boss, I can't exactly look at everybody and be like, figure it out for the night, guys. Good luck.
Figure it out. I'm going to a different haunted house. I'm going to have fun.
Yeah, like I know I'm your boss,
Get to
and
work.
I'm also security, and
Yeah.
I'm all these things, but you'll be fine for the night. Good luck, guys. Godspeed. Like,
work hard. I'm going out.
I'll see you next weekend. Bye.
See, I would like to go during the week just to not deal with young rowdy people on the weekends. I'm just getting too old to want to deal with young people. I would rather go during the week because I'll just go into work late one day, or not go into work, or just go to work tired, whatever. I don't care. I would rather go during the week.
No, I get it. It is much easier to go during the week too, and in my opinion. After going all these years during the week instead of the weekend, I find it's easier to go during the week and not have to fight the crowds and the kids. And there are so many teenagers that parents just drop off and forget about. And I don't know why they think we are not your kids' babysitters. I don't
Yeah.
want your nasty little 16-year-old goblin. I don't
And
want to
groups
deal with them.
groups of teenagers always have attitudes.
The worst, the absolute worst.
Yes.
The biggest problems I've ever had while running a haunted trail have always been teenagers. Don't get me wrong, I've had my fair share of fights with adults. Um, Amazing fights with adults, I might say. They can be real uninventive when it comes to name calling. Um, One insulted me by calling me a middle-aged woman before. I was like, "Oh no, my feelings." But kids can be just look for a problem. They look for a reason. It seems to be you're either too scary or you're not scary enough,
Yeah.
or you're, moving too slow, or, I mean, kids are mean. And when their parents are around, they're even meaner usually.
Well, it's the thing is when their parents aren't around, then they're pushing the boundaries. The things they know they're not going to get away with in front of their parents. Now, okay, what can I get away with? What can I say? How can I act? I got to show off.
I'm about to say something bold and controversial. I find that a lot of times the kids that are dropped off to these kinds of events, or events in general, a lot of times without any parents around at all, any kind of supervision whatsoever, any real rules, I find that these kids are brats and that the parents don't care. I said what I said and I'm not sorry. If you're dropping your little goblin off after paying, $70, $80 for Universal, and you're just saying, "Oh, I'll pick you up at 2 a.m. when it closes," you're not a good mom. I said what I said, and I'm not sorry. Like, your 16-year-old has no business running around a theme park without any kind of supervision whatsoever. I don't care how good you think your little goblin is. It's inappropriate.
I can't imagine who lets their 16-year-old out to 2 a.m.
Parents that don't like them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I said. I'm not sorry. I find oftentimes that the parents that do things, it's not even a matter of if they're good parents or not. It's a matter of they don't like their own kids. They don't like their own kids, so they don't want to spend time with them. I like my kid. I enjoy hanging out with her. I'm not dropping my kid off for an event.
So your kid is at 16 is not going to be running around Universal unsupervised being a jerk to everybody is what you're telling us.
One, I like to go to these things myself. So if she's going with her mother,
Yes.
and I'm going to annoy her, unfortunately, for the rest of her life. She's well aware of that. But no, I don't think it's appropriate. I wasn't 16 running around these theme parks by myself. I've been doing these things myself since I was even younger than she was. I've never, actually, I can say that to this day, I have never gone to a haunted house or a theme park by myself, ever. I've never done it. There's always been someone with me. So I can't imagine. I mean, as old as I am, my mom still goes with me to these places. Like, really? Like,
Your mom's just going to keep you in line. She just doesn't want to tell you that's why.
I mean, she likes me.
She
She says.
she
She
doesn't
says
want you
she
to get
likes
out of
me.
hand.
She says she likes me, but I don't believe it. I think she's lying. I think she's just there to make sure I don't get arrested. But I mean, it is.
She's like, I know this one. She's gonna just be out of control. If I leave her alone, she's gonna be running around at 2 a.m. creating problems. Let me go with her.
I mean, I can't disagree with that statement. My cousin would absolutely agree with it because when we went years ago, he actually lost me in the theme park and was not happy when he found me. I felt like I was a child being scolded. Like, he literally called me out and was like, "What are you doing? Get over here. Don't be hanging out with strangers." And I was an adult and I'm like, "Oops,
Sorry.
time to go back to the room. Someone's grounded." Oh.
Okay, so you said about the cops before. So I gotta tell you, because I've been dying to talk about this. This has nothing to do with Halloween, everybody. I'm totally just changing topics totally because this is hilarious and I've been waiting all night to talk about this. So I'm shoehorning it in right now. So in Las Vegas, a gas station worker is accused of beating a customer with a bat for taking too much nacho cheese. Okay, you heard me. He took too much nacho cheese. So apparently, um, the gas station guy said that the victim was talking shit, so he told him to leave the store. And then he showed the officers the cheese machine, and the victim broke it. So he told the cops, "Hey, the victim's not trying to steal, but he was taking too much nacho cheese from the machine, and he broke it. So he told him to leave, but the guy really was adamant about getting his nachos, so he didn't leave. So the worker pushes him out the door and beat him with a baseball bat.
I'm not
And he
even
just
gonna
he just
lie.
admitted it, and he was just like, I don't want people to think they can talk shit. People are going to know not to mess with me now.
I would absolutely whoop somebody's ass if they took all the nacho cheese where I was at. Like that's a fightable offense right there. Like, listen, I'm normally not, I will say I am for violence to an extent. There's a time and a place for all kinds of violence. And when it comes to, whoa, Milfman, no, you can't have too much cheese. The problem is you're taking all the cheese, so I can't have any. That's the
But
problem.
but
Like,
it
I
wasn't
want some cheese too.
but it wasn't even another customer who was like,
No, it
cool
was
it,
the worker because he was
cool it, because
texting.
I need to get my nachos. It was the
Listen,
worker.
yeah, because during his next break, he realizes he's going to go outside and partake and bake himself some cookies, only to get the munchies 20, 40 minutes later and realize I ain't got no nacho cheese because this asshole ate it all. Like, I'd be fighting too. I would absolutely fight too. You ever get the munchies, go to get the munchie, only to find out that it's not there because someone ate it all? Like, that's a swingable offense. That is an ass whooping situation.
You work in a gas station, so you work in a building full of munchies.
Mm-hmm. But I like nacho cheese. I like nachos. That, I mean, really,
I
who doesn't love nachos? But wait, hear me out. Get some mini tacos. Put some of that nacho cheese on those.
ah nacho cheese and the mini tacos. I like it.
Mini tacos are banging, and then you just add some of that, and then instead of sour cream, maybe some tzatziki sauce. Like, I'm telling you.
Okay, you lost me at tzatziki. You lost me there.
Oh,
I'm down with mini tacos with nacho cheese though.
now listen, tzatziki sauce. It is amazing with nachos and tacos and stuff. I don't know how, why. Probably because of what it's made with. But you got to get the right one. You got to get the one that's made with Greek yogurt, not sour cream. That's too on the nose. You need Greek
Okay.
yogurt, does or yeah, tzatziki sauce. It's just it's just amazing. It's just
I just
amazing. It's the sauce that's on gyros.
I see. I don't really like the sauce. That's why I would never eat it on nachos. But because it does make sense because it has the same base as sour cream,
It's
like the
the
same type of flavor. So I get it. I just love that the guy, he was just like, well, yeah, he took too much nacho cheese. Like he didn't even try to like hide it. He was just like, yeah, don't mess with me.
I
You
mean,
take all the cheese, you're gonna get beat.
if
People are gonna learn.
if you go that far, do you really have any room to stand on if you're gonna to try and deny it later? Like, you just need to own
True,
up to the fat behavior.
true. And I guess if you let it get to that point, like you stopped caring, like you just that ship has sailed.
I mean, I say so. I'm just saying, if I'm fighting someone over food, and it's not even the food that I have, like, that's what gets me. Now, if he had said like he had stole nacho cheese from my plate, you're like, okay, like that. I can understand maybe
He
if
made it
you're
clear,
drunk and
no
it's
stealing
late or
involved.
something like that, yeah. But he took it out of a machine that nobody has eaten yet.
You know,
that's some really fat-minded behavior right there. Like that's a little too Homer Simpson for me.
well, see, then it got me thinking, like, is there a limit? So I go and I buy my gas station nachos, right? So the gas station by my house, you get like the little boat and you have a bag of chips and then you can pump the cheese. Could I just hold my bag of chips and pump my entire boat full of cheese?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is there a limit to how much cheese I'm allowed with my nachos? Or
I
is
would
it
say as
you
long
get
as
one bag of chips and one boat and whatever you fit in that, you're good? Is that
I feel like as long as there's cheese for the next person, like it's all good. You can take a whole bucket of cheese for all I care. As long as I got cheese, like as long as there's enough cheese for someone standing right behind you waiting for you
yeah?
to get done, that's fine. Like it's all good. Now, there should be a line somewhere, but I'm not sure what it is because I really enjoy cheese and I really like nachos and I really like nacho cheese. So I'm probably not the best person to say how much is too much because I could be like, I mean, if I had it my way, I'd buy one of those nacho cheese machines and have it just sitting on the counter all the time and just probably start putting cheese on everything. That's also why I'm not allowed to have one in the house, though.
You'd be like, okay, so tonight we're having steak with nacho cheese. Tonight we're having meatballs with nacho cheese. Chicken,
Yeah,
nacho cheese.
yeah, and my
Steak, nacho cheese.
and Deadpool is well aware. When I get a fixation on foods, I will absolutely eat nothing but that forever. Like for the last, I don't know, for my whole life, potatoes. I have to have
I
potatoes.
love potatoes.
Potatoes are my. I don't care if it's potato chips, French fries, hash browns, baked potatoes, mashed potato. Like I don't care. I have to have potatoes.
I own a potato cookbook, so I get you.
Yeah, if I had a nacho cheese machine, it'd be potatoes and
So
nacho cheese on everything. Which, oh,
would be
that sounds
delicious.
amazing.
Be delicious. So you know how on what it 7-Eleven day, so on July 11th, you can bring your own container and get a Slurpee. Can you bring your own container so you're walking out of there with like a bucket of nacho cheese? You left like half a pump for the next guy.
That'd be amazing. That'd be so amazing.
You
You know
you'd be
what? I'm buying
you'd be
nachos
first you'd be
tomorrow for
first in
lunch.
line. You'd be
I'm
first in line.
I'm going to the gas station tomorrow just to
Yeah.
buy nachos cheese. I'm throwing that out there for everyone in case you're wondering what my lunch is going to look like tomorrow. It's going to be nacho cheese. I don't care.
So I actually don't get gas station nachos. I've watched other people get them because we have a place by our house it's like it's similar to Chipotle, but they have nachos.
Hmm.
So they have the giant can of nacho cheese, which just sits in something to warm it, and there's just like a pump top on this huge can of nacho cheese. And if you ask them, and they'll put extra, and the dude just pumps the cheese, and oh, it's amazing. So I don't have to go to the gas station. I go to the nacho place.
Have a good night, Batman.
Yeah, thanks, Batman. Gotta rest up to save the world.
Yes, we did have 2 big bags of nacho cheese in the house. Yeah, we did have those. I'm not allowed to bring them in the house anymore.
Okay, so it's September. It's the middle of September. You act like it was outrageous to go through 2 big bags of nacho cheese. Like, how big are these bags, right? Because we've been through 9 months out of the year.
I don't know how big I didn't have them the whole year. That's an exaggeration. I don't know when I got them. My mom got them for me. I don't know when I got them. They were delicious when I had them, but I also didn't know what to do and how to store half of a bag, so I kind of had
Yeah,
to
what do
get
you
rid
do
of
once
it
you
'cause I
open it?
didn't. That was the problem. I didn't know what to do with it, and it's like each bag was like 10 pounds.
Oh,
And
that
it's
was
like,
a big bag.
what the hell am I gonna do with that? I mean, I like
Okay.
cheese. Don't get me wrong, but I can't bathe in the stuff. It's gonna clog the drains. Um, So I ended up getting rid of like half a bag because I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't have any way to really store it safely, properly, to where I trusted it enough. Because, like, in a bag that you can't see in, what if something starts growing in it? I can't see it. And you know what I
So
mean? Like, too many variables in that situation. So I got rid of half a bag, and I'm not sorry. I'd do it
so
again.
so here's what you need to do. In Canada, they have bagged milk.
Hmm.
I still don't understand how this works, and people on the internet from Canada think like we're all weird for thinking bagged milk is weird. Whatever container they put the bagged milk in, like
Yeah.
some sort of pitcher,
Yeah.
I always assume that the pitcher must have some sort of clip at the top because you got to hold the bag in there. You need to get one of those to hold your cheese bag.
Well, see, the problem is the bag itself, storing the bag itself isn't the problem. It's once the bag's open and it's exposed to air, every time you seal it up, how long's it good for? Like
Okay,
there's
I see what
no
you're saying because the
direction.
clock started ticking, so now you've got 5 days to eat
Yeah,
2 gallons of cheese.
it didn't say like, oh,
Okay,
you've got 2 weeks before it goes bad, or store at store in the refrigerator after opening, or store on the shelf. It's fine. None of that was. There's no kind of labeling, and googling this stuff was not very freaking helpful. Let me tell you, there are just so many brands of cheese out there, and with the different preservatives and things, it's just there's too many variables. And like I said, I couldn't see inside the bag because once the bag's coated with cheese, it's not melting off,
yeah.
so you can't. And I was worried, like, what if mold grows and then I go to pour it out and I can't see it because it sticks to the side of the bag so it doesn't come out. And food poisoning is not a good time. I've been there. So it's like, I'll just take my chances and throw some cheese away and, make the rats at the landfill very
So
happy this month.
Remy, right? Is that the guy from Ratatouille? Remy was like, "Yes, give me the nachos." So what you just need to do is you need to prepare for the next bag. Is you
Yeah.
need to get like, okay, here's my week's worth of cheese
Yeah. I
food
need
that I'm gonna
more.
make breakfast, lunch, and dinner
Yeah,
has
I need
nacho
more
cheese.
information. I need to know, like, how long is the cheese once the cheese is open? How long is it good for? Can I put it in other airtight containers and extend the life? Can I will store it better this time. It was a first time experience with that much of that bag. Who really? I don't even know where she found 2 gallon bags of cheese. Who finds this? It was
I don't
like
know, but
she
like I
went out.
said, that now you just need to prepare so she can buy it again. You just need to come up with all the recipes, be ready to go.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. There was some that I was starting to try because, like, I like queso, but I can't really get it out at many places anymore. And like, I used to like Chili's queso. They used to have pretty decent queso. Well, I can't go to Chili's anymore. They've tried to kill me a few too many times. I refuse to eat. I wouldn't know if their food's any good anymore. I literally haven't been there in probably 8 years. So I try to make my own queso at home. It's good. Better that way. It's
I'm
easy
not
enough.
even a huge cheese person, but I love nachos. They are delicious. But see, I would not get beaten over the level of cheese I'm taking. If I went to the gas station, they would not come after me. The guy would be like, "Do you need a little bit more?"
I
So
mean,
I'm in no danger of being assaulted for my cheese intake.
somebody could try to fight me over my cheese usage. I don't think it'd end well for them, but we could try. It could be entertaining for all of 5 minutes.
So when you go to the gas station tomorrow, take a few more pumps than you normally would, and like you gotta like look around, see if anyone's watching you. You should take more, see what happens. Do they comment on it when you go to check out? Are they like, "Whoa, you got a lot today"?
I think the closest was because I do use a lot of cheese. I actually, instead of putting the cheese in the container for the nachos, I actually just fill up my container with nothing but cheese and just carry the bag of chips.
So saying, yeah, the whole boat is full of cheese.
Yeah, I pretty much do the
Yeah.
whole boat full of cheese because I do like a lot of cheese. And I think the closest I've ever come to anything is one of the guys made the comment of, "Oh, someone must really like cheese." And I looked him dead in the eyes and was like, "Actually, I find cheese one of the most disgusting things on the planet, but go on. Tell me more." All I could think was, I don't know why you made a comment of somebody must. No shit, really,
Yeah.
bro? Like, I would
Obviously.
never have thought. No. So like it's times like that I take the perfect opportunity because
Yeah.
I am that smart ass. I will always be that person. I've done it for years. I will always do it. Oh, that when my kid was little and she was sitting in a pink car seat wearing pink lace with a gigantic hair bow that was pink and a pink dress with lace, and someone go, "Oh, is that a little girl?" No, you don't dress your sons in all pink with frilly bows and lace. What the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah.
What are you, some kind of sexist or something? You got something against pink? Masculinity? Ask stupid questions, you get stupid answers, as far
Yep.
as I'm concerned. So yeah, I will be that person. No.
So apparently, when I brought up that Canadians drink bagged milk, apparently only half the country does. So it's an Eastern Canada thing. Out
I've
west,
heard that,
out
yeah.
west said no bagged milk. But here's what I don't understand. Right, Bentel, he made sure that we know he's not part. He has no part of this bagged milk business. Right? He's like, oh, I'm totally from the civilized portion of Canada here, please. And
It
Derek
never.
said,
They're
this is what I don't
never.
get. We put it in a plastic thing that keeps the bag upright and we cut the corner to use the milk. Wouldn't it be just as simple to just sell it in a container? Like, I don't understand why it's even sold in bags. It makes no sense. Because if you have to go home and do all this work to be able to use it,
Mm.
it could have just been in a container that you screw the top off of. Or if it's the cardboard container, whatever, you open a little piece,
What
right?
I was told, because I had a similar question about, because like in Mexico, they have soda in bags. They sell soda in bags a lot of times
What?
too.
That like
Yeah,
you buy for your house. Not
yeah,
like you're putting in the soda machine. Like
yeah. No, like you buy it for your house, like you're walking down the street. Instead of buying like a bottle of Coke, you buy a Ziploc baggie of
what?
Coca Cola. Yeah. But from what I've understood, the reason they do the bags with drinks is it's actually to help like save plastic. It's to use less plastic in to help cut down on waste, because in a lot of these places they
Okay.
do a lot of recycling as well.
But
So
is a plastic bag using that much less plastic than a plastic jug? Right? Isn't it plastic no matter which way?
I
Wouldn't
would
you just put it in a cardboard
I would
box then?
I would
Like
think
a milk
so.
carton?
I would think so, but it kind of also makes sense too if you think about it. A plastic bag, once the plastic bag is done and empty and it's no longer being used, when you go to throw away a plastic bag, you can make a large plastic bag, like this, take up like this much space in the garbage. Whereas a milk jug, even when you crush that down to the best of your abilities, that takes up quite a bit of space. So I would think it's more or less a space thing than
I don't
anything
know.
else, because when you go to throw it away, a jug will take up more space in the garbage than a Ziploc bag or something. I mean, that's my.
So
I'm probably wrong and way off base. It's probably to do with money. It's probably got to do with it's cheaper to put it
that's
in a plastic bag.
yeah, that's what he says. Probably cheaper for manufacturing. Okay, so when I was a little kid, and I told you I would go visit my cousins on the farm,
Mm-hmm.
they had like one of those old Tupperware pitchers,
Mm-hmm.
and she was like, "Oh, I have to go get more milk," and she went across the street to get more milk. So she came back I was dying of thirst, and she offered me milk, and I said no. And I was like, no, I'm not thirsty. I can't even tell you how thirsty I was. I totally thought she went across the street and like milked the cow. I thought, right, because I was a little kid, I thought she went across the street and milked the cow into the jug. And I was like horrified. And I was like, I don't want to drink this. This is gross. And all my cousins are drinking it. I'm thinking, how is this normal? What's wrong with you people? They lived across the street from, and my uncle worked there at the plant where they processed the milk. So she was able to go and pour it in her jug, but it was still pasteurized milk and everything. It was still safe. I wonder if places, if you live in towns that have the plants, can you just go with your own containers and go get milk? Because then you really eliminate on all the waste and all the, like, right? Because then they don't have to put it in containers. You're not throwing containers away. There's probably sanitary concerns with it, but I don't know.
There's a lot of things that they could do that would make things a lot better in a long or short run, but it would cost them money to do them, so it's not going to happen. It's just like they keep pushing the agenda that us not recycling a cardboard box at our house is the reason the planet is falling apart and pollution is so sky high. It has nothing at all to do with the factories spitting out, 20 gazillion pounds of toxic waste every day. Nothing at all to do with that.
It's got to
do with my car.
You used 3 straws this year. You did it. 3 straws. You're done.
So be it. I'll burn the planet down with a smile. That's okay. I'll do it on my super yacht.
Maybe you just salt it. The orcas were just mad because they know that the people on the super yacht are using straws, and they had enough. And so that dude who was on the kayak, he had his metal Stanley cup with him. So he was okay.
His metal straws, he was like.
Yeah. So the orcas are like, nope, you're cool. So wait, long ago in Canada, you had reusable bottles for sodas that you could get filled for cheaper.
I've never heard of a refillable soda bottle.
But he said that was a while ago, though.
Yeah, but I know that they used to. I know and still in some states up north, they do a recycling fee. When you buy cans or glass bottles, you pay an extra tax. It's basically a deposit, and then once you recycle those things, you get money back. It's not much-ish.
They're just trying to force you to recycle. Mm-hmm. But I don't think it's really to make you recycle. I think it's because they know that people aren't going to do it, and then they get to keep all your money.
They're trying to make us believe that it's our fault the planet's falling apart. We are the cause of it all. We're the reason the ozone layer still has a giant hole in it. Is the ozone layer still a thing, or did we kill that off the rest of the way? I know we had a big hole in it in the 90s.
Well, no, I think
anymore. We didn't repair it.
No, I think we did, because we stopped using a lot of the aerosols and the stuff that we were doing, and we on a lot of the like stuff we were putting in the air that was making the ozone hole bigger. We stopped using all of that, and the hole is shrinking. So I think it probably still exists, but it's not a big deal now because it's shrunk enough that it's okay. Yeah. We stopped it, but I still want paper straws. I will never be on board. I don't care. I don't care if my straw usage single-handedly torpedoes the world. Paper straws are horrible. They're absolutely horrible.
I agree. I concur wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
I agree. And on that wonderful note, we're going with plastic straws, not paper straws. Fight the powers.
And I don't use straws enough to have a reusable straw. I don't really drink many beverages with a straw. I don't know.
I have some that came with my cups. I find them a pain to clean. Otherwise, I don't really care one way or another. A straw's a straw. It is what it is. I only need them really when I'm drinking boba. Otherwise, I don't care if I have a straw or not. Paul! Hey, Paul.
Hey. I would think metal straws would make... This might sound weird. I think metal straws would make your beverages taste weird, right? Because things taste different. Think if you have soda from a can versus a bottle versus a fountain soda. All three taste slightly different.
Yes.
And
Yeah, no, it does after a while.
yeah, and I don't know. I don't know if every beverage I would want that little tinge of metal.
I've heard plenty of horror stories about metal straws, especially when it comes to kids and teenagers using metal straws because they're not, let's be honest, your little couch goblin isn't smart. They never are. That's why we have to teach them and protect them from themselves because they're not bright. They're very dangerous to themselves. They do dumb things like run around while holding things and drinking things. Yeah, you ever had to yell at a kid not to run around while eating a lollipop? Imagine
So,
that conversation, but with a metal straw. Stop running while you're drinking out of the straw.
so when your 16-year-old's running around Universal at 2 in the morning in the dark with metal straw.
Right through their face. It's a good time to be had. Wonderful time. It's happened. A bunch of companies
Yeah.
just started putting rubber ends on their straws because of it. And it's like, I don't know how to break this to you, but if they're really interested in putting a straw through the top of their mouth, that rubber piece isn't going to stop it. They're just going to take the rubber piece with it. Now we've lost a rubber piece in our sinuses, but it's okay. Murphy's Law.
You smell the metal from the cans are lined with plastic, so the taste you're smelling, the taste is you smelling as like, wait, you're saying that they line, like if I have a soda can, you're saying that they line the can with plastic? It's not just metal?
I've heard that they line the soda cans with, I've heard different things throughout the years. I think it probably depends on the decade. But yeah, I've heard that they line the cans and that's why the cans don't rust. They don't rust from the inside out, which makes, it would make sense.
Okay.
However, as someone who's cut open cans,
You
I
don't
don't
feel
see
it.
anything. I don't notice anything. I can't feel any difference. So I don't know how true all of that really is. I couldn't tell you. And I doubt any of the companies are going to come forward and tell you how they're making their cans because it's probably not great. Probably not good.
Yeah. Some things we're just better off not knowing, really.
Yeah, no,
Just
yeah.
go on your merry way and drink your can of soda and don't think about it.
I'd rather not know some things.
Wash down your boat of nacho cheese with your can of soda and don't think about any part of any of this. Like, you're buying food from the gas station, don't think about it.
Yeah.
You're eating the hot dog that's been rolling around on the gas station roller for who knows how long, don't think about it, just eat it.
It's true. You said it true. Very true. Very true. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. A lady died from tripping and had a metal straw go through her mouth. Yeah, no, there's people have done that. It's actually happened several thousand times. There was actually one year where emergency room doctors were telling parents, they were pleading with parents, please stop giving your kids, your toddlers, metal straws because they were having an influx of toddlers with straw injuries because parents were giving their kids. Why on earth you would, I personally, as someone who raised many kids over the years, I would never give a kid a straw under a certain age, only because they're not smart. They are very accident prone and they fall a lot at a certain time in their life. And I just always saw straw accidents being a problem. And what better way to avoid having one than to not give the kid a straw? So why any parent would give their 1-year-old or their 2-year-old that can barely walk a straw, a metal straw?
Because they probably don't even think about it. They're just like, oh, it's a straw. What could happen? You're not thinking that, oh, it's metal.
I don't know. I still have some of these parents. They don't like their kids. They're killing them off. They're letting them die on purpose.
Well, maybe they just want all the monarch butterflies to come, so they're just giving a blood sacrifice. so they can have a beautiful yard full of butterflies.
And that would make sense. That would make sense. I swear, sometimes I think these parents are like, they have like life insurance policies on these kids and are setting the kids up because it's like, why would you think that's okay? Why would you think that's a good idea to let a small person do? Like,
Yeah.
you know, they've got like barely enough brain cells to rub together, right? Like, you're supposed to be the smart one in this situation, and you thought it was a good idea. Really? Really? No. Just saying. Just saying.
So Dreadpool said that it's a lining, not a bag, inside the can. We know it's not a bag,
Yeah,
right? Okay, so what is this? Like the bagged milk in Canada, you have little itty bitty bags of soda that you have to assemble in your can. Like, we know it's not a bag. We're saying when you open the can, if you were to open the can, you would think that you would feel. It feels like metal. It doesn't feel like there's some sort of lining on it. We're not looking for a bag. You choke on that. The bag would come out the hole and down your throat.
Yeah. Yeah. Paul, so controversial yet so true. I would absolutely. Well,
electricians in training.
I do the same. We need electricians. We need future electricians. I'm not even gonna say. But with all of these things being said, it is getting late. You all need to go to sleep so you get to work in the morning. I need to get some sleep so I can do things tomorrow. I have, traumas to get ready to terrorize people with and villagers to chastise and terrorize. So
you have to go to sleep to forget the itching.
I've been itching my foot for the last 5 minutes, and I'm thinking, how bad does that look on camera? I can't help it. It's so itchy. Oh my God. I need to go soak my feet in like rubbing alcohol or something because this is driving me insane. So, do you feel the pain on the inside?
He's talking about the can. Do you?
Oh my God! Let it go. Let it go. Go drink some water and touch some grass. Let it go, dog. It's over. We're not worrying about the can anymore. I'm itchy. I'm very itchy. Now I need to go dip myself in rubbing alcohol. Oh. It might be early for you. It is after 11 o'clock here for us. And like I said, I need to go dip my feet in rubbing alcohol. Like, it's bad. I look like a cheetah right now. And just covered in spots. Ugh, so itchy. But with all that being said, I will leave you all to it to go terrorize the other masses. Remember to do creepy things. Just don't be a creeper.
Always good advice.
Go visit some haunted houses and keep your hands to yourself.
Yep.
That's the advice I can give you.
Yes, and thank you everyone for the chat. It was fun tonight.
Yes, we'll be back
group
next
today.
Sunday.
Yep.
Don't worry, guys. And we appreciate you guys, all the support. You guys are amazing. You guys are always fun. So we appreciate you all being here. And we'll see you guys next week. Have a wonderful evening. With that said, I'm Death Dealer.
And I'm Pink Piggles.
We'll see you guys next week. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.